The March by E. L. Doctorow, a historical fiction novel published in 2005, centers on General Sherman and his momentous march through the South during the closing days of the American Civil War. Doctorow weaves the narrative through multiple perspectives, offering small vignettes from various characters whose lives intertwine with Sherman and his strategic choices. This book marks a significant point in Doctorow's esteemed career as a writer of historical fiction, with other notable works including Ragtime, Billy Bathgate, and the Book of Daniel. Critics, editors, and librarians have all recognized Doctorow as one of the most influential American novelists of the 20th century. The story opens in late 1864, capturing the essence of Sherman's total war strategy, which targets not only Confederate soldiers on the battlefield but also Southern plantations and entire cities. The initial scene portrays Sherman's troops burning down the Fieldstone plantation in Georgia and pillaging its contents. The plantation's owners, John and Mattie Jameson, have already fled to Savannah, taking their most valuable possessions with them. Left behind is Pearl, John Jameson's biracial daughter, born of his relationship with one of his slaves. As a former slave herself, Pearl has no place to go after the plantation's destruction, so she decides to follow Sherman and his massive army as they march away, accompanied by the liberated slaves from Fieldstone. As the soldiers continue their relentless march, living off the land and leaving destruction in their path, their numbers grow. People from the South who have nowhere else to turn start following the troops, seeking refuge during the final battles and skirmishes of the war. Uncertain of their future and with limited options, they cling to the hope that something better awaits them ahead. In Milledgeville, Georgia, Emily Thompson and her former slave Wilma find themselves with no other options after Emily's wealthy father passes away. They decide to join the march alongside General Sherman's army. During their journey, they encounter Arlie and Will, two bumbling Confederate soldiers who pretend to be part of the Union Army. As they continue, General Sherman spots Pearl, mistaking her for a white drummer boy due to his grief over his own deceased son. Pearl attracts the attention of a Union officer named Clark, who protects her. Unfortunately, Clark loses his life in battle, leaving behind an unsent letter to his family. Pearl decides to personally deliver the letter to his family in the North, sharing the news of his death and recounting his story. Meanwhile, Pearl and Emily become assistants to Colonel Reed Sartorius, a skilled but emotionally distant surgeon. He carries a medical hacksaw with him at all times, seemingly disconnected from the horrors of war he witnesses. Emily becomes entangled in a passionless relationship with Sartorius. As they reach Savannah, they decide to spare the city, making it an exception to Sherman's total war strategy due to its architectural beauty. In Savannah, Pearl reunites with her former owner, Mattie Jameson, who informs her of John Jameson's death. Pearl assists Mattie in finding her only surviving son and provides financial help to rebuild Fieldstone. Amidst the events, Pearl forms a connection with another Union soldier, Stephen Walsh, who deeply loves her and desires to help her live as a white woman. However, Pearl grapples with her identity as she has always considered herself black and is uncertain about embracing a different life. Stephen advises Pearl to allow the world to catch up with her and, for now, to pass as white to find true freedom. Meanwhile, Arlie and Will continue to follow Sherman's troops and encounter war photographer Josiah Culp and his assistant, Calvin. Tragedy strikes when both Will and Culp are killed. Arlie decides to assume Culp's identity and plots to assassinate General Sherman under the guise of taking his photograph. As the novel concludes, the characters' futures remain uncertain. Arlie's assassination plot fails, leading to his capture and execution. Emily embarks on her own path, engaging in charitable work at an orphanage. Mattie returns to the remnants of Fieldstone. Calvin plans to take over Culp's photography business in Baltimore, embracing his newfound freedom. Pearl continues her journey north with Stephen, carrying Clark's last letter and contemplating what lies ahead in her life. The final image portrays a fallen soldier lying in the dirt, one boot and a tattered uniform, the scent of gunpowder fading around him. The war is over, but the aftermath leaves soldiers and civilians grappling with psychological, physical, and emotional scars. Rebuilding and finding direction in their lives become uncertain endeavors. The march received widespread acclaim and earned several prestigious awards, including the 2006 P. and Faulkner Award for Fiction, the 2005 National Book Critics Circle Award, and the 2006 Michael Shire Award for Excellence in Civil War Fiction. The New York Times Review noted that while the march portrays war as hell, it also offers a fresh perspective by showing that people can renew the world by learning to live through such adversity. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.